Wonderful.
Oh, all right. Well, we've started the video. It is not a No Prep Kings video, unfortunately. We had some things come up. Right now, it is June 18th, 11:10 p.m., Friday night. They got the race at Palm Beach, and if you look around here, we're not at Palm Beach. We're here at Ellis Nasty. So, never really had to do one of these videos. Well, let me say this differently. Never really been pressed to go to any races. Last minute, we decided, like, hey, let's go do this No Prep King stuff. And when we did that, the motor was out of the car. So to say we had a thrash was definitely an understatement. The guys at TCAM Performance knocked it out. A bunch of different companies came through and got us the parts we needed, expedited them. Kevin did the machine work, like, literally, like, overnight. Just a bunch of really good, awesome people, companies helping us out so we can get done and get tested. So when we put everything together, saved time, Matt assembled the motor, everything was good to go, fired it up. We've been making adjustments to the car really ever since Matt came on board, and we're looking for consistency, reliability, and just to get better as kind of like a race program. And Matt's definitely been helping out with that. So going through some things. The car was quite unreliable before. Most times when we'd lose races, it was because of a parts failure or something along those lines, that we weren't just like flat out getting outrun. You know, we did every now and then, but most times, you know, we were doing all right and then something just broke and we couldn't continue. So we've been going through, we've been making changes, we've been upgrading, we've been modifying, we've been doing all this stuff, and you know, it kind of seems like every time you change one thing, something else needs to be changed, and then you have to change that, and then something else needs to be changed, and it's just, we're just going through the whole car. So you guys have heard me talk about it a little bit before, about the wiring issues. We have to rewire the car, and then, like, with our busy schedule, I guess, brought upon myself, we never really got around to it. So we put everything back together. We went to go testing, and testing, I'd say, was pretty good. We got some really valuable data for running the car in slicks. But what I didn't show in the video of testing was the struggles that we were having with the car. So if you guys that don't know the setup, it's a LS methanol turbo external oil pump. So just put the external oil pump on. We've had, like, amazing oil pressure. Switched over to Schaefer's oil. Everything's been doing good. This car used to milk the oil really bad, and we just chalked it up to using shitty oil and factory oil pump not really having, like, the greatest oil pressure. And I think the external oil pump band-aided it, but what it came down to was kind of like a tuning issue. So we had, the car runs great, you know, through the power band, and its tune-up's great through the power band, but we've never, literally, the car's always ran and idled, so we've never messed with the idle tune-up on it. And it always idled fat. I'd always rev it to clear it out, because if I didn't, the air fuel would drop and it just get fatter and fatter and fatter, so I'd literally have to put it in neutral and rev it. Now we're kind of getting to Matt's territory where we can talk about it more, but essentially what was happening at the track was we made some changes in the tune-up, getting everything dialed in, and it really showcased the issues in the idle tune-up. In 3 passes, brand new oil, milk the oil. We had EGTs going crazy at idle, struggling to get the car to idle where we want to shut off. Literally pouring methanol at the bullhorns, and we're like, what the heck, we really didn't change anything. And then we really dive into the tune-up at idle, which, you know, Kevin Mullins, when he tuned it on the dyno, did an amazing job with the fuel. Our fuel map's, like, amazing. But he's like, well, I tried to lean it out of idle, and it didn't like it. And I'm like, well, just leave it how it is, because it idles. It always idled. Never really had an issue. Idle, it started up good, but what we didn't realize was, you know, that little bit fat at idle, that's globally throughout the entire motor. And pretty much what we found out was happening once we really started digging into it was we had, like, 2 cylinders just dumping fuel, like absolutely dumping fuel into the motor, and then the other 6 were running lean. And it was a small issue that took a lot of time to get right, and it didn't ruin our test session. It just made it very difficult for us to go out there and, like, when you go to rent a track to test, you want to go out there and make passes and not be working on the tune-up. So yeah, you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, we had some issues. The injector harness, one of the injectors was split the two. I guess it'd be
6 and 8.
Yep, 6 and 8 were switched.
The wires were switched in the harness.
Yeah, the wiring color was right, but the wiring pinout had been changed from the typical Holley. So found that out, got that corrected. It was really fat at idle, and John has always had to rev it, and he just.
Everyone always gave me shit, why are you revving it? And I don't mind revving it. It's a race motor. It doesn't care. Revving it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. So the data log always usually starts whenever he's going on the chip, and we've never really dove into the way when it's idling and everything. And then we were having those issues. I said, hey, let's look at it. Let's kind of check it out. And then whenever I started looking, I found a lot of stuff that wasn't really correct. That could be. Those nasty fans. I found a lot of stuff that wasn't correct. When I corrected it, it really showed that there was a lot of issues that needed to be addressed. So
you spent a whole day in the shop just working on getting it to idle, because that right there was causing us so many issues. We literally lost half of our oil pressure at idle.
Yeah.
Changed injectors.
Yeah. So we did some diag on it, changed injectors, make sure it's not an injector issue. Pinned out the wiring harness, fixed all that. Checked the EGT sensors out, and there's a few that were idling. They were in the 300 degree range when it's idling, which is not correct. You got the other cylinders that are 500. So what happens is your air fuel ratio is it's a combination of all your cylinders. So if you're at 4.0, you could have one cylinder at 3.5 and another one at 4.5, and that will cause you to have idle inconsistency and issues to where you might think that you're at 4.0, but you might have one cylinder that's way fat and one that's way lean. So that's probably whenever Kevin had an issue with leaning it out, is because.
And when we were on the dyno up there, we didn't waste any time with that. We're there to get the tune-up right for making power, because we can mess with the idle tune-up, but it's something where I guess it just got overlooked until it really started causing a problem.
Yeah, so I did some individual cylinder tuning at idle. I built some tables that going down the track, the EGTs are very tight, but during idle they were all over the place. So I fixed those, got all the EGTs fairly similar at idle, and that really changed the way the car idles, changed the fueling that was required. It was idle on a lot of pound-hour fuel. Now it's cut in about a third, so substantially less fuel at idle.
We can breathe. Before, you couldn't go near the car. You'd get methanol fumes in your eyes and your face.
Yeah,
and you couldn't breathe.
Yeah, raw fuel coming out the exhaust. So.
The amount of fuel it consumed just idling it was astronomical. Yep. But that's what it was. That's the fuel it was using. It had so much throttle blade in it. It was taking so much fuel. It was.
Yeah, a lot of variables. So we changed that, and then there's some other issues. While we were at the test session, we didn't get to go out there and just start making pass after pass. We were fighting some of those issues, and then it was one of those things that can the car be capable on slicks? I completely think so. Can the car be capable on slicks with us only making one pass? That's tough. That's tough for anybody to figure out your suspension tune-up, your power management tune-up, all those things in one pass. And I feel like from us getting a late start and then going down there and having to go directly off the trailer, it would have been more of a wasted trip than racing.
It was 4 o'clock here. We had to leave at 3 o'clock to fit our time schedule. It was 4:30, and then I pretty much we were just. The car wasn't 100%. We were gonna have to get down there and work on it. We're gonna have to get down there and change tires at the track. We're gonna have to get down there and do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we got some pro bracket radials. They won. We spent a ton of time trying to get the.
Mounted them 4 times each. They had an issue with the thickness of the bead, so we ended up having to scrap those. It was just we've been thrashing on the car literally for the past 3 weeks. Absolutely insane hours.
Transmission started leaking.
And we just had to pull the. I brought it up. I was like, hey, I don't think we should go, and it's tough for me to say because there's a lot of people that put a lot of time and stuff into this, and I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news or let anyone down, but I said to Matt, and Matt's like, maybe that's not a bad idea. We talked to Wes, we talked to Logan, and then we were all kind of on the same page as the way this trip would be starting out, we're gonna sit and ride in that Toyota for 12 hours and just think about how much shit we're about to get into, and then if we don't make it happen, you get out first round.
And it's a long, and sometimes that's racing, but whenever hey, we're we don't have it together on the slicks enough to go out and be competitive. I mean, you're going to be racing against guys that's all they do is slick racing, no prep. So, you know, if I feel like we had more test sessions, that, you know, or more passes at Glot, then, you know, I'd feel a lot more confident in the car. But with that little, it's difficult to do that. So
we made the call to stay. So if anyone was down there, I'm not sure when this video will come out. It'll probably come out Sunday, so the event will be over. If you guys were down there looking for us, I'm sorry we couldn't make it. I do apologize, but I just kind of had to do.
We're still going racing though.
Yeah, still do what we have to do. So we're going on. It's RB Sunday, but Saturday we're going to Red Springs, Thunder Valley. They got like a small shootout there. So back on radials, back doing what the sheep does. We still left some of the changes we made, like the stator change. We left that in there, which might be better because a little bit more marginal track. Yeah, it might be a little more forgiving. And we're gonna go out there and race. So, want to apologize to everyone if we let you down in that sense, but it's just kind of one of those things where sometimes this bad news is a whole lot better than the other bad news. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's not fun going all the way down there and going out first round.
A lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of headaches, and not that this is the easy way out, but I think this was probably one of the more sensible decisions that we could have made. So
drive 1 hour versus 12.
Drive a whole nother day of working on it. That's what people don't understand. It's like we worked on it all night after we made the call, working on it all day today, and just now at midnight we're getting it put in the box. So
good. I mean, I definitely want to do it. Like no prep kings.
I think that
be prepared when we go.
Might have got a little overexcited. The Black Sheep is. Where it was a 10.5 car, we're converting it over to run radials, and it's running pretty good on radials. I don't think we need to be messing with this car to get it to run slicks. Colorado, I'm getting built to kind of do both, and I think that when we get Colorado, you know, we're gonna go put slicks on it and run it a lot on slicks, and then we'll have that dialed in on slicks, this dialed in on radials, so we'll be good to go. It's just a matter of getting it and having some time to test it.
Yeah.
So,
which I think this car would do good on slicks. It just would need
some time.
And then you need to change the whole setup, the bars. You know, I think you maybe, depending on how good the track is, you could leave the same bar angle, but you know, we got 14-inch wide wheels, trying to get, you know, those on slicks.
Yeah, we made that video and everyone's like, that shit's not going to work, and we're like, well, this is what we have. So
yeah,
it's like,
you know, we'd love to put them on a 12 if we had a set of 12s. So I think it's just easier. You know, those guys are going to have a bunch of weight in the rear. We don't have any way to put weight in this. You know, we're trying to get weight out of it. There's just a lot of things, but
so
I still think overall it was impressive though. I mean, one pass that we made.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I lifted at 4.6 and still went a number that.
Yeah, it was pretty. I feel
at
like
least 2 rounds. I feel like.
I mean, it's pretty
definitely
respectable.
respectable. I mean, for, you know, out of the box, you know, kind of shooting in the dark on power management.
And while we're
setup.
fighting issues the whole time.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, no, that's so.
Will it be the last time you guys ever see the slicks on the sheet? Questionable. Can't really say either way. If we have another car, then we don't have to do it. You know, we just leave this one. What I'm trying to do is we got all these cars. I just want to pick and choose. I got a car for every race. Want to run back of the track, no prep, grab this car. Want to run trackside, no prep, grab that car. Want to run radials, grab that car.
It's like playing a video game. You just like go to the garage.
Yeah,
and you're
honestly,
like,
pick
that one.
Speed.
I grew up playing Need for Speed. I'm trying to make it happen here. It's way easier to grab each car than it is to adjust it, and yeah. So tomorrow, I know it's kind of like a sad video, but sometimes it's the way they are. Tomorrow, we're going to end it on a good note. Tomorrow, we start a giveaway. We're giving away 80mm VS Racing billet wheel turbo that can be yours. All you have to do is go to lsnasty.com. First link in the description below. If you subscribed to the monthly subscription for the mystery box, you are entered already, and you're getting your new badass limited edition mystery box, which has special items that you can only get in the box. They're not for sale anywhere else. So if you guys got that, thank you for your support. And the first giveaway box, I think it was kind of like you know, testing the waters. So I know what we need to do. The second mystery box is gonna be badass. Have way better items in there, I think. And then we got a couple new shirts coming out. We got a new shirt coming out for you, Small But 4 Nasty Guys, and then all of our badass LS Nasty merch as well. So got that turbo giveaway going on. It's your time. Now's your chance. You can't win if you don't get entered. Just go to lsnasty.com, get some merchandise, get entered to win, starting tomorrow. So make it happen tomorrow.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day also. Yeah, to all you dads out there.
Yeah.
And
buy some merchandise
for all
for
my sons out there at the drag strip, you better send me a message. Tell me Happy Father's Day. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Shannon. Short list, guys. So far. King Kong next. Look at Logan. That's Logan's boy.
We're coming. End of the year.
Maybe end of the year. Maybe.
Logan, give us a mullet flip.
All right, we're out.
He get the buy this round. Don Doc got the buy this round. The black